So I want to try to get the gist of things so we can continue off with this entire week without being. Oh, I'm not being scrutinized. Barely anybody watches me, but I do this for my own personal enjoyment in my love to be so informal in something so not that informal as professional wrestling. Side note: how do you lose a world title in a limo? Shouldn't you bring that with you, especially in a restaurant? I mean, kayfabe is dead and shit, and I understand you don't want people giving you autographs and asking to hold your belt, but I think that's more security than Jericho losing his belt and then making a stupid ass video uh, on social media talking about whoever has my belt, fuck you. It's not that difficult. Just get a search team, and now I think that they now found the AEW title. Let's just get into the show. Bailey discussing on her reasonings why she hit Becky Lynch with a steel chair and the instant heel turn on the champion. And it's not like Bailey uh, deserves at least some character change, but I was waiting for a gimmick change, not just a heel change, a babyface change. I don't care about her babyface. I don't think it works for her, especially in this notion that she still dresses like a babyface. And it works for certain wrestlers, but thinks Bailey isn't that enticing. And most of the PG fan base don't even care about her, except a bit of the little females. It doesn't get that mass connection like Eddie Guerrero turns heel. Like if John Cena turns heel. Like John Cena is literally an inspiration for nearly any other person. Eddie Guerrero is the most liked guy you'll ever see in pro wrestling. Kofi Kingston turning heel. People known him for a long time as a good guy. He spent like over 10 years as a babyface, so obviously if he turned heel, that would turn somebody's heads. That would get somebody to watch. Not Bailey. Just for a heel turn and for her to assist Sasha Banks with Charlotte Flair. I did not care. Then they just got this instant connection. Then they went backstage later in the night, just talked about their and came with Charlotte, uh, fucking big. No, it was Sasha touching Bailey's side pigtail. I mean ponytail. So we get into the first match of the night, and they had two, not one, two above average tournament matches, King of the Ring matches, and I have to say, I'm not the most credential in professional wrestling, but if I see a good match that's well paced, has a reason to exist, and has a certain thing going on other than spot for spot, I'm going to watch it. With Ali selling most of his leg, muscle finishers, their commentators bringing up the muscle mass and why Elias has a good advantage on why he can't even, get some of Ali's moves. Not because he faced off against Buddy Murphy the previous bracket in the last round. And obviously in the quarterfinals, facing off against Elias is literally bigger than Elias could no-sell a bit of his moves. And then he got a shoulder hit right over to the turnbuckle, and he sold the shoulder while Ali was selling the knee. So there was some good selling. It came with Elias with that spinning neckbreaker and winning. It was pretty cool with him with the crown on his head and guitar. They should have did that when he wins the whole tournament. And now it looks like he's not even going to make it to the semifinals, facing off against next match. The next match is going to be Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross facing off against Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, and they lose. This obviously mean all because you guys pinned the champions mean you got a title shot. Ali pinned Shinsuke Nakamura 4 weeks ago, and he still never had an Intercontinental title match opportunity. And then Fire to Desire just pinned the tag team champions because the female tag team belts are so irrelevant that just one instant beef or an instant pin gets yourself a title shot. Miz, Nakamura, Kingston, Randy Orton. None of these matches were ever earned by a title opportunity or any other chances from the higher ups. If that was the case, why didn't Shane McMahon ever gifted somebody like Elias or somebody like Drew McIntyre, like the guys that were supposed to be the instant bodyguards of Shane, or ass kissers, more like it, never had a shot for the title? All they were like instant like anti-bullying motifs to make sure Shane McMahon stays a authority figure and a heel to only face off against the baby faces. Well, a baby face. He individually needed security guards for the Miz, for the fucking Miz, for like 6 months. For 6 months, he needed security for the Miz. When was Miz ever in his career, and he was babyface before, when was he ever shown to be a guy that could be a one-man army? He need literally 2 6 foot something dudes that can literally rip you in half. I really don't understand. And all that got McIntyre and Elias over all this is Elias is going to the semifinals of the King of the Ring for SmackDown bracket, and Drew McIntyre gets freaking pinned in the first round. Mind you, it was a good match, but this wasn't much. That was just a side. That was just a side rant. I just don't like the way they develop matches for championship matches these days, because all it is an instant beef or some irrelevant history from 10 years ago, all because you were sort of supposed to be booked. Because John Cena in 2009 was overcooked at this point. And I'd rather have Randy Orton still WWE champion than Sheamus having a 1 month build with John Cena. Then losing it in the Elimination Chamber like a few months after for a short reign from Batista. So, anything else, this entire SmackDown roster got to be revamped. I think it's smart if they even think of doing this little draft again come when Fox SmackDown comes out in October. Everything has to be rewritten. Everything. Next month, everything has to be rewritten. And then we had Fire to Desire facing off against Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss. I mean, no, fuck me, Nikki Cross. Why do I always think she's Becky Lynch? She's Scottish. Becky's Irish. Oh my god. It was basic bicycle knees, a hot tag off Alexa Bliss that's literally shorter and looks weaker, and yet she gets a hot tag and looks like she's punching Sonya Deville other than giving her clotheslines. That spinning neck breaker, you come with Nikki Cross trying to do that head scissor spot and trying to wound on Mandy until he hits her on the Minitron from the ring apron, and then comes to assist Sonya Deville. Hits her with a little ripoff of a total elimination, but it's instead of a leg sweep and then a spinning heel kick, it's a leg sweep and then a bicycle knee to the face for the 1 2 3. It seems like we're either going to have a Clash of Champions title opportunity for Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville come the pay-per-view in like another week. So, this was an alright match. I just don't feel like Nikki Cross is over from this. I think people like her for essential reasons, like she's somehow thick wearing jeans like that. Like ugly wearing jeans where I can literally see the knee pads inside those. Where she barely does much work. She's obviously not likable for any other purposes other than Alexa Bliss is just forcefully babyface until maybe she turns on her in the pay-per-view if they lose the belts. So, yeah. Next up was a little address from Randy Orton with the WWE Universe saying that Kofi Kingston's not on this level. He ain't shit. And the most satisfying part of Kofi Kingston is when he gave him an elevated DDT on the table backstage near the ring entrance. So, that was a meh pay-per-view with Kofi Kingston just trying to come in and get assaulted. And it's like, we know from a landslide Kofi Kingston's gonna lose, right? Win, right? We know he's gonna win because he's been a borderline underdog the entire time, but somehow the revival please give Randy Orton a faction other than just assistance from the Revival. Give him a faction. The Revival need to be a faction. I think that could build up more of screen time for these guys in promo settings. Because other than saying we're part of the tag division, we hate the New Day as a tag team. So thanks, Randy Orton's having a title shot against Kofi Kingston. That means we're assisted with Randy Orton. That's literally the only reason why these guys are even together right now. Doing a rip-off double 3D. Rip-off 3D, I don't know what to do with it. Both Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson are just helping out with the 3D with Randy Orton. So, yeah, this segment wasn't much. It came with Kofi Kingston trying to fight back a bit, trying to gain some sympathy from the fans. I honestly did not care. This didn't build up Kofi Kingston as being an intimidating champion. Thanks, he has no promo. He doesn't have that much instant charisma. And all it was trying to build up the seriousness about twerking black men and holding most of the titles on the brand. And they're not doing much with them. I don't think the New Day has defended their SmackDown Tag Team title since beating... Fuck, who the fuck they beat? Daniel Bryan and Rowan. And nothing else happened over the course of those months. After Bryan and Rowan had a falling out a few weeks ago, they're not in the tag division anymore after what happened with the videotape and shit. So they're not a tag anymore. And then it got issued later in the night that Eric Rowan will be facing off against Rowan instead of Daniel Bryan. Because Rowan came up clean and said he did he did the car thing. And he was acting like a little bitch because he slapped him in the face several times. Like, not one, not two, several times. He slapped me in the face. And then we had Chad Gable with a promo again involving his height. How's this an immediate build from when Shelton Benjamin... I understand they haven't been a tag team for nearly a year now, but these guys still have history, and that's the best segment you can go by. You couldn't be like Shelton Benjamin's trying to play easy, is trying to play nice, pretends that he's gonna be cool, give Chad Gable the win because he knows it's his dream to be king of the ring, best in the WWE, something like that. Just something so we can have some sort of Chad Gable's this gullible baby face that has great talent. Do something like that. Not still persuade height into the matter, but the promo with Zelina Vega looking bad as always, and then immediately saying, "Oh, you're the fan favorite, but thanks Andrade's on the tournament." I'm sorry to say this, Chad. The match was great, especially the spot with something into it was a roll up into a German suplex for a bridge, a pump handle into a back suplex for a bridge for a near fall. There was great build up coming into the fake kick into an elbow. I like that. I felt that this match had good a decent underdog story into Chad Gable being the fan favorite, even though nobody remembered this guy. I was like, oh, wasn't this a long haired dude with the cum towel from American Alpha? I think that's where most fans would actually remember Chad Gable. Because nobody remember he was Raw Tag Team Champion with Bobby Roode. I'm sorry, Robert Roode! That just get immediately a tag team title shot come the pay-per-view with very little build-up, except Dolph Ziggler still in the company. So we need both of you guys to still be relevant, to know that we still have singles wrestlers. But things, our tag team division is trash. Both of them, Raw and SmackDown. We need you guys to shovel every part of our tag team division. It's not even going to be part of a storyline. You're not even involved in the Universal title picture. You're just in a tag team title shot to make sure Braun Strowman and Seth Rollins have a reason to fight each other. So yeah, I know immediately they're just gonna give the tag team titles to Rude and Ziggler, or they're gonna lose. But I know Seth Rollins is gonna retain the Universal title unless some bullshit happens. And then we had the funniest part of Aleister Black just being like, "If the mountain is gonna come to me, I'm gonna go to the mountain myself." And he had a squash match with Shelton Benjamin a few nights later. I don't think he ever had an interview in the show. All he is in that dark, gloomy room doing these promos of somebody has to fight me. Like, this huge urge to fight somebody. We don't have any in-depth reason why he wants to fight so badly. There's always a reason for everything. And doing this is doing that is a reason for character depth and the reason why you should like these guys. There's a reason why you liked Mick Foley. There's a reason why you like John Cena. There's a reason why you like Triple H. There's a reason why you like Randy Orton. There's a reason why you like most of these guys, and it's because of their ambition, the reasons why they wrestle, and your respect for them, and why you want them to succeed in the business. That's the whole reason for a wrestler, heel or babyface. There's always a wrestler that you should support. I like Aleister Black. I think he's one of the best wrestlers, borderline strikers on the SmackDown brand, and he doesn't do anything for me. He just gets a squash match against Shelton Benjamin. The best part of that match was a bicycle knee to the face while Aleister Black was on the apron, and he got kicked right into the kisser. And then a few strikes came later, and then he took a black mass to the face. That was pretty much it. Kind of sad how Shelton Benjamin's career has gotten, because I thought he could still be like in the 24/7 picture, thanks to that belt is literally brand exclusive to every brand. They said even NXT UK and NXT, yet I never saw an NXT wrestler took it. Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe took it, but not anybody from the SmackDown brand that are not getting that much, screen time, like Rhino. No, Rhino's not there anymore. He's on Impact. Jackson Riker, most of the Forgotten Sons, the fucking Street Profits, even though they're tag team champions, it wouldn't kill it to have a singles belt. And that would be pretty much it in that case. I don't really care about the Raw brand, the NXT brand that much anymore, since like most of the NXT guys are already on the roster. So, and then we had a squash match that just immediately promoted that The Miz gets a title shot because he got kicked repeatedly for the kicked repeatedly by Intercontinental Champion Nakamura, and Nakamura is just taking off his jumpsuit, gay leather jumpsuit like this when he's getting ready for the Kinshasa. Then they just promo him against a jobber than anybody else in the company. Local jobbers work for some wrestlers, but fucking hell, you guys use too many of them this year. We used them for Lars Sullivan. We used them for the fucking. You used them too many times for the Viking Raiders. The only legit tag teams the Viking Raiders ever pinned, cleanly in a 2-on-2 match, was literally Ryder and Rock and Hawkins. That's literally it. That's only the legit tag team they faced. Not the Street Profits. Not the Undisputed Era. You should be proud of. Not this. Not anybody else. It should be the Jobbers. Go fuck yourself. You're burying most of the talent you have. Nakamura hasn't been hot since 2018, and he won the Royal Rumble, and he's gifted now this silent tough angle. This strong and this silent merc Japanese dude with his friend or borderline translator being a French Canadian of Muslim descent. How the fuck does that work to get heel heat and while performing a roundhouse kick to the chest, Nakamura busted his ass while in a squash match? I find it hard to botch in a squash match when all the guy has to do is literally take your moves, take your finisher, and you get instant heat if you continue beating the shit out of him or beat him in a dominated fashion. And you fuck all that up immediately. I laughed my ass off when that happened. No pun intended. Nakamura just proves to be a crappy Intercontinental Champion. And this is coming out the previous year when he was the Royal Rumble winner. And he had that feud with Styles, and it was supposed to be equal to the Wrestle Kingdom match that wasn't even that memorable, except that Bumaye to the back of the head to Styles. The match was all good. It was just, oh god, stop trying to catch magic from other fucking promotions. They did the same thing trying to rip off the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn feud from the El Generico and Kevin Steen feud from Ring of Honor. WWE has no unique storylines anymore. They're ripping off indie shit. You think that's a proud statement for WWE to make? And then now you're giving this mercenary, quiet Japanese killer and a translator gimmick, thing for Nakamura now? You know how many other wrestlers you could have gave that to? We fucked that up with Rusev and Lana, and they're not even on the main roster that much anymore. Naomi hasn't been shown. You somehow give an Englishman a manager role for two Japanese women, and they haven't been on SmackDown for a few weeks now. The Kabuki Warriors are great workers, and they're obviously interesting. Go cut a throat, I swear. I need something more than this. All because they're great wrestlers won't get them to be relevant for several months. That won't even get them relevant for a year. People still remember Zach Gallagher. I don't remember. He was that one-legged guy on SmackDown that kept getting jobbed out by Vince McMahon and Brock Lesnar. And he still fucking won matches. He went to a pay-per-view, a SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view, pinned Vince McMahon. He pinned Big Show with a moonsault, and he's with one leg. And that's still over than Shinsuke Nakamura using that gay running knee to the head and still not getting over. A one-legged man is over. And he only lasted like a year in the company. That's depressing. That's super depressing. When a fucking amputee is fucking more valuable to the business than Shinsuke Nakamura and the Intercontinental title ever is. I don't care if these guys worked around the world. They never worked around a huge crowd. They never got to move a huge crowd. Go back and see The Rock. Go back and see Godfather. Go back and see any other wrestler from back in the day that can literally make their words control a crowd. Not just always your wrestling, and especially when Nakamura can't even speak English, and this is about to be his second year in the company, fourth year in the company. This is gonna be depressing when this is on Fox, because people still watch Fox, and obviously they're gonna be like, "Oh, SmackDown's coming back on Fox, on Friday. Okay, I might check it out." The viewer rating's still gonna be in a huge minimum unless you guys actually do something for these dudes. So next up was the hyped up main event, and it was going to be Daniel Bryan demanding an apology from Roman Reigns after immediately getting exposed last week and then getting speared. So instead of a confrontation backstage, instead of like a contract signing for at least if in a handicap match with you and Rowan at Clash of Champions, if I win, I get an apology. But if you and Rowan beat me in a handicap match, I globally apologize next week on SmackDown or live on the pay-per-view on the WWE Network. I wish I can edit to put a $9.99 and then a dick on the logo, because I obviously don't give a shit at this point. The storyline completely lost luster when they just showed an Eric Rowan ripoff immediately on the show and then do no backstory on who the fuck that guy was. They immediately just zoomed it off because they knew the surprise was completely lackluster. People could think that it was Dean Ambrose. Obviously, he's not coming back. So they just immediately put Daniel Bryan. Nobody else that had an instant beef with Roman Reigns. No, like a legit squabble. Like, you can make a title shot with anybody off something from 10 years ago. Not consistently 10 years, just 10 years ago. It's not like Kofi Kingston was in even the shadow of Randy Orton or like an afterthought in a world title picture. He was literally in title shots before. He was literally in Elimination Chambers. He has shots to become WWE Champion. He had shots to go to the Royal Rumble. He had shots. He won multiple tag team title matches. He won the Intercontinental title and the United States Championship numerous of times, and I would give him this world title shot. It's been 6 months, and nobody remembers the first opponent he fought. Like, oh, Kofi's first title defense was against, Kevin Owens. And then he had Dolph Ziggler, and then he had, like, for 2 pay-per-views. And then he had fucking Samoa Joe for 1. And then he ends his first big legit main eventing wrestler to match up against, like, Randy Orton in a no contest, in a double countout. And then something like Eric Rowan turning a major heel, and now he doesn't even associate with Daniel Bryan anymore. He just gives Roman Reigns a mandible claw, chokeslam him, and then he takes up fucking Daniel Bryan and chokeslam him and beats the shit out of both of them. So that was SmackDown. It gets a 5 out of 10. That's the best I'm gonna give it. There's no logic in most of the show. I thought the Bayley heel turn was necessary, but if Bayley had a different gimmick. I thought that the 2 King of the Ring matches were good, but needed better build-up if you want to get somebody like Chad Gable over and somebody like Elias to really gotta chill out with trying to spoil his moment come the semifinals. So, yeah, that was the positives. There was 2 great King of the Ring matches. I found the Bayley promo trash. Aleister Black with having a simple squash match for no reason. Just to have a match with Sean Benjamin because he's in the card. We know his expression to even get a match randomly to be squashed is, your former, like, 4-time Intercontinental Champion just gets beaten the shit out of by some dude from NXT that used to be called fucking Tommy End. And fucking, wow. The storyline with Rowan, just to have a match with Rowan, not Daniel Bryan, the guy that also was, like, involved in most of the attacks. What a cop-out of a SmackDown. Of all this crap, I'm still not convinced why this should be on Fox. I will be convinced that it should be on SmackDown. They should cut costs. They should go to a different like a different channel. Try to build up a bit of leverage there. Because obviously, that little competitive little shit they try to do for the brand split, like putting SmackDown another day on Raw, is too time consuming. No one can consume that much wrestling in just 1 week like that. That's too forced on the viewer, and obviously people have other stuff to do. Putting this on a fucking Friday is way better. And I thank for WWE for that. And another side rant here, the New York Guardians. That's our team name. Something so iconic in the sports world. The New York Knicks, the New York Giants, the New York Jets, the New York Yankees, the New York Mets, the Islanders, the Rangers. The fucking Guardians? Are you trying to make it sound like vicious cucks in the most important state in the country? Are you serious? One of the most important iconic places to come, like New York City. And I don't even know where these fuckers are playing. Nobody knows where they're playing. I don't even know where in the fuck the draft is, because obviously they're trying to get a draft going. So yeah. It's going to be super depressing. I can't wait to see all of this fail. I can't wait. I don't even think this is going to last a postseason. It's going to have the AAF treatment. Because fuck WWE. Just fuck them. And I think they already have merchandise. Yeah, they already have merchandise. I think I should buy this come my first paycheck again. Because obviously, this has no reason to exist. And I think I'll do, like, whatever time they have the full rosters out, I'll do a full examination on everybody. Because I don't care. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hopefully you liked the review.